Colombia, one of the countries with the warmest people all over the world, amazing music, interesting cultural diversity, and stunning and beautiful nature. This country is not only paradise for backpackers and for travelers, but also for digital nomads. After living for 4 years in the beautiful city of Medellin in Colombia, I want to share with you my personal experience, how life as a digital nomad is in Colombia. Is it really the paradise for digital nomads as people are saying? And which are some of the best places for digital nomads to live and work from in Colombia? This and much more will be shared in this video. Hey guys, my name is Goran. I'm a digital nomad. I'm a freelancer in social media management and digital marketing, and I have actually lived for the last 4 years mostly in the beautiful city of Eternal Spring in Medellin in Colombia, and I would like to share with you the best experiences, the best places, and everything you need to know about living in Colombia as a digital nomad. The goal of today's video is to show some good and some bad points about some of the most magical places to live and work from in Colombia, and at the end I will also show you and recommend you some magical small villages where it's really worth it to maybe go and work from for a few weeks, or maybe even live and stay there for a longer period of time. First of all, I would like to mention that I made a list for digital nomads to be able to live and work from in Colombia, as they have different needs than, for example, backpackers or travelers. Digital nomads need a very good infrastructure, they need internet, they need good apartments, they need to be able to move around between cities, whereas a backpacker or a traveler needs to go to beautiful places, mostly remote. In Colombia there are so many of those places, but they're not ideal to work from for a longer period of time, and especially if you have to make meetings on Zoom or on a platform, it's going to be impossible. So let's stick to the places with a very good infrastructure and a high quality of life with a very good amount of salary you make from. The best 5 places in Colombia for digital nomads are Medellin, Bogota, Cartagena, Santa Marta, and Cali. Let's start right away with my favorite city and actually the #1 city for digital nomads in South America, Medellin, the city of eternal spring. Medellin has it all. If you're looking for a great climate, for high-speed internet, for amazing high-rise apartments, beautiful nature close by to walk and have a nice hike, Medellin has it all. Another very important point for Medellin is that it's connected to many major cities of the US, to some of the bigger cities in Europe, and also the connectivity between other parts of South and Latin America and the Caribbean are improving and improving every year, so it's really amazing to get to Medellin from all over the world. One of the best parts of Medellin is that it's not only beautiful and amazing cities surrounded by beautiful nature, there is so much more to do. Like, for example, if you love football as I do, you can go to games of Atlético Nacional or Independiente de Medellin and maybe even go watch the football derby of those two clubs. That's an amazing, amazing experience to watch 45,000 people jumping around and having the time of their life in a stadium. If you like reggaeton, you are in the city of Maluma, J Balvin, Karol G, and many, many more. So there's really the heart of the movement of the reggaeton culture. Medellin has so much more to offer, and it's a very interesting place to live and work from as a digital nomad. But how much does it cost to live as a digital nomad in Medellin, for example? I will make always 2 comparisons for people wanting to have a private room in a shared apartment with maybe other digital nomads or locals, or having a private apartment in a good part of the city. For example, if you're okay to live in a shared apartment, having a private room in a very good neighborhood in Medellin, with all your expenses for eating out once a day, making some day trips in the area, etc., you can already start very easy from $600 spendings per month, all included. For example, a cheap room can be $150 per month, and then, yeah, you can count it up. It depends if you want to spend $600 or $800, but normally you don't spend much more. But now, if you want to have your own apartment in the beautiful neighborhood of Medellin, like El Poblado, Laureles, Envigado, I will show you some of the best neighborhoods of Medellin. Then it's going to be more expensive because there are not many apartments that are furnished with all the services included, etc. So you have to calculate for a good apartment between $500 and $800 to $900 depending on the amount of rooms and the location, how elite the destination is. So summarized, Medellin is an amazing option for a digital nomad to live in Colombia. The beautiful nature, amazing climate, it's never too hot, never too cold, very well connected airport, beautiful nature surrounding the city, and the infrastructure is really amazing, so that's all you need. So if you want to go to Colombia and you're not sure where to go, Medellin is the best choice. Not only because I lived there for 4 years, but in general, if you take all the points in account, Medellin is the place to be. And that's why it's today also the most famous and most popular destination in the whole continent of South America. The second city on this list is the Caribbean city of Cartagena de Indias. Cartagena definitely is a place you have to visit before you die. because its old town is something of the most beautiful you can see all over the world. Maybe it's even the most beautiful old town in Latin America. In some neighborhoods of Cartagena, like Boca Grande, you can find amazing and beautiful apartments, high rises with views of the ocean and maybe even of the old town. It's a really beautiful place to live and work from, but just keep in mind Cartagena is in the Caribbean. It's very humid, it's very hot, so you always need to have an AC, but no worries. The whole infrastructure is amazing as it's a very popular tourist destination, and also the expat community is pretty big in Cartagena. If you want to compare, for example, Cartagena being at the coast with the cities of Medellin and Bogota being in the mountains of Colombia, the biggest difference is the weather, as it's always hot and beautiful in Cartagena, whereas in the other part it sometimes rains. When it comes to prices, Cartagena definitely is the most expensive city of Colombia. It's extremely touristy. People from all parts of Latin America and the US want to come and visit this beautiful old town, and that's why you pay more, because the city is smaller and there's less availability for tourists. I would say in general Cartagena is around 30% more expensive than Bogota or Medellin, but still Cartagena normally is very affordable for people coming from richer countries, so don't worry about that too much. If you want to compare Cartagena to Bogota or Medellin, the bigger cities in Colombia, the gastronomical scene and the shopping scene are smaller compared to the big cities. But no worries, especially the gastronomic scene is great in Cartagena. The restaurants are amazing and very delicious and very diverse, whereas the shopping part and the entertainment part outside of Old Town is a little bit limited due to its size. But no worries, there are many islands, beaches, etc. in the region you can visit that the other big cities don't have in comparison. So for easier lifestyle, Cartagena is a very great choice. So if you want to be surrounded with beautiful architecture, beaches, nice people and warm or hot climate, Cartagena might be the best option for you. Let's already jump to the third city of this list, Bogota, the capital city of Colombia. If you have read some blogs about living in the capital city of Colombia in Bogota, you've maybe seen that the reputation isn't the best and that some people maybe don't even recommend it. It's really trendy today to talk bad about Bogota, and everybody's saying, oh my god, Medellin is so much better. Yes, I prefer Medellin as I've lived there for the last 4 years, but Bogota is really an amazing city. I went there for several times and I'm always having a great time. The gastronomical scene is by far the best in Colombia. The city is much more international. People are more open-minded to international people. It's really great. There are so many more things to do compared to everything else because it's a city with more than 10 million people. The biggest disadvantage of Bogota, in my opinion, is the weather isn't the best. As Bogota is on 2,600 meters above sea level up in the Andes, it's not really warm there. The nights are pretty cold with 12 or 13 degrees, and during the day it mostly doesn't go more than 22 degrees. For some people that's a great option, but for me, who grew up in Switzerland with very bad climate, I prefer it a little bit warmer. But it's actually the choice of everybody to decide which climate he's looking for and what the best option is for him. We don't have to talk about how very well connected Bogota is to North America, Europe or Latin America in general. The airport is amazing with so many destinations to visit from. Even in the country, it's the main hub to go to every hidden corner of this beautiful place. There are so many things to do, a huge expat scene, many people coming from all over the world. There's one more downside I want to talk about of Bogota, and that's the lack of infrastructure. Public transportation is really bad as there's mostly just some buses and the Transmilenio system, which is special lanes for fast buses in Bogota. But they are extremely crowded, not well connected, and it takes ages to get from A to B in this huge city of 10 million inhabitants. That's something that's very important to me. Medellin has a very great infrastructure with metro cables, trams, buses, everything you need. But Bogota as well has to offer Didi, Uber or InDriver, amazing taxi platforms where you can share rides and get very cheap from A to B, and that's really no problem at all. When it comes to Bogota and its prices, I would say it's the same price range as Medellin. Most people actually say Bogota is more expensive, but my personal experience is not like that. I know from people paying less for accommodation, Uber definitely is cheaper, the restaurants are cheaper as well, especially if you want to go for a nice brunch. I'm not sure, to be honest. My opinion, Bogota is more or less the same price as Medellin. In my personal experience, Bogota isn't cheaper or more expensive than Medellin. So if you want to make a budget, you can use the same numbers, let's say 600 to 800 US dollars, having a private room in a shared apartment, or if you want to have a nice own apartment, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 US dollars per month should be a very good budget to have a really good lifestyle. And if you're somebody who doesn't like to eat a lot in restaurants and prefers to cook healthy food at home, then you can even deduct maybe 200 US dollars per month. So no worries about that. Bogota is still a very affordable city. If you want to learn much more about the digital nomad lifestyle and everything you need to become a digital nomad, Please hit the subscribe button as it helps to grow this channel really a lot. Thank you very much, and let's keep going now with number 4. Number 4 on this list is Santa Marta. Santa Marta is another beautiful city based on the beautiful Caribbean coast of Colombia. It's less touristy, it's smaller, it's cheaper than Cartagena, so it might be a really interesting option. One of the most beautiful things about Santa Marta that it's surrounded by some of the most beautiful nature in Colombia. You have beautiful places like the Parque Tayrona, Minca, Palomino. You can go all the way up to La Guajira, to a desert meeting the Caribbean. There's so much to do in the beautiful surroundings, you will never be bored. But if we talk about Santa Marta as a city, it's definitely smaller and there's less to do compared to the other ones I've mentioned before. So Santa Marta is more for natural lover who would like to be in a smaller city, having an easier way of life and maybe be able to visit many beautiful parts outside of the bigger cities in Colombia on the beautiful coast. The prices in Santa Marta are much lower than in the mentioned cities before in this list. You can come maybe even 30 to 40% cheaper than, for example, Cartagena, and it's still much cheaper than Bogota or Medellin. If you are a budget traveler or a digital nomad just starting out, Santa Marta might be a great option, as in a private room in a shared apartment you can maybe already spend only $500 per month, everything included. And if you want to have your own apartment, you will maybe spend $1,000 to $1,200 per month, and you will already be able to have a really great lifestyle. So let's get to the last city of this list, Cali, the Colombian capital of salsa and the city of eternal summer. Cali is a very famous and interesting city, and it offers all the infrastructure you need to have a really great life there as a digital nomad. I can compare it maybe to Medellin and Bogota, as it's also in the Andes, and the biggest difference to both of the cities is that Cali is hotter as a destination. Also, it's smaller compared to Medellin and Bogota, which means there are less cafes, less co-working spaces, less things to do, and it's just a smaller city, and that's also why the city is like 20% cheaper than maybe Medellin and Bogota. So that's an interesting point if you are looking for a bigger city, but that it's maybe more budget friendly for your needs. And especially if you want to go and learn dance and salsa, that's the place to be in Colombia, even though you can learn it in any of the other major cities if it's not a killer criteria for you. Another downside of Cali, in my opinion, is also the public transportation, which is more or less non-existent. It's only a few buses going up and down. It's hard to move around, but still there's Uber, Didi or InDriver, which are the most popular platforms in Colombia. So you can always get from A to B in a very cheap and a very efficient way. So if you're looking for a hot climate in a bigger city and you don't want to be at the sea maybe, but be surrounded by beautiful nature, Cali is the best option for you. And also it's still very well connected to other major cities in Colombia with its international airport. So no worries about that, you will never be bored in Cali, that's for sure. So we have already reached the end of the list of the 5 best places to work and live from in Colombia as a digital nomad. So to finish this video, somewhere here I will write down a list with special places for colonial towns out of the bigger cities to live as a digital nomad, where it's really beautiful. But just keep in mind, always contact your host before, how is the internet, because this can be a killer criteria if you're going to have a good time in this place or not. But trust me, if you don't always need to have the very best internet connection for meetings or for teaching things online, the Colombian old towns in the mountains are the most beautiful part to live in, because the nature and everything else being surrounded there is so stunning. It's a very special experience. You will definitely enjoy it if you want to escape from a bigger city or even spend there much more time than you have already been thinking before. We have already reached again the end of this video. I hope you have been able to learn a lot about Colombia and maybe get some valuable insights. If you have any questions regarding the cities or anything, please let me know down in the comments. I will help you out a lot if I can. If you would like to see more videos about the digital nomad life, how to become a digital nomad and which places to visit, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. It helps me out a lot. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.